Pause for a second. Look at this face. You've probably had this exact experience while scrolling on your phone. You're watching a video, and suddenly, you stop. Something feels off, but you can't quite explain why. Psychologists call that feeling the uncanny valley effect. It's a biological discomfort your brain triggers when something looks almost human, but misses the mark by a fraction of an inch. Has AI reached a level of perfection beyond our reach, or are we simply failing to recognize the specific patterns of synthetic life? Most people assume that identifying a deepfake requires intense visual scrutiny, that you need to be a digital detective scanning for warped pixels or lighting errors. In reality, it has very little to do with actively examining what you see. It depends entirely on recognizing what your brain subconsciously expects to see. This diagram shows a forecasting timeline of human expressions to illustrate a mechanism called predictive processing. Your brain is wired to constantly forecast what comes next, the next word, a shift in posture, or a micro-expression. When reality matches that internal forecast, the interaction feels natural. When an AI video misses the timing of that forecast, even by a fraction of a second, your brain instinctively throws a red flag. To see how this works, look at the eyes. Human eyes are never perfectly still. They make tiny, continuous, involuntary movements called saccades. In most AI-generated faces, those micro-movements are missing. The eyes are slightly too stable, locked into place like someone staring intently without actually seeing. Then there is the speed of human emotion. In a real person, a biological reaction travels across the face sequentially. A genuine smile, for example, starts in the eyes before it ever reaches the mouth. AI often reverses that sequence, or it drops an expression onto the entire face simultaneously, moving less like muscle and more like a mask snapping into place. The inability to replicate biological timing remains the most significant hurdle for AI. That very perfection creates an immediate sense of friction in the viewer. This failure extends beyond facial features. If you look at the wider environment, you'll spot a spatial issue, the boundary problem. Physical human movement generates messy, chaotic edges. Think of loose strands of hair, flyaways in the wind, or the blurred outline of a fast-moving hand against a background. AI struggles to render those physical boundaries. Instead of true chaos, it generates a strange, overly clean blur where the person ends and the background begins. This lack of biology even applies to what you hear. Real human speech is messy. It is full of breaths, mouth moisture, a subtle click before a word, or a tiny inhale after a long sentence. AI-generated audio is acoustically pristine. It removes all of those messy biological realities. That acoustic perfection sounds inherently wrong to us. Your brain has been trained on the imperfections of the human voice since the day you were born. Synthetic reality is exposed not through the details it manages to include, but by the chaotic, messy reality it leaves out. Here is the psychological complication. Even when we use these physical flaws to intellectually identify an AI video, our emotional reaction continues regardless. This diagram illustrates the function of mirror neurons. Studies in social neuroscience reveal that these neurons fire equally in response to perceived emotion, regardless of whether they are looking at a real human face or an AI-generated one. This creates a strange new reality. You can experience genuine sorrow, joy, or outrage from a video that you intellectually know is completely fake. Synthetic media bypasses our logic entirely, using visual realism to tap directly into human emotion and manipulate our responses. Navigating an internet full of biological red flags requires a mindset of calibrated skepticism. This is a tuned awareness that stays active in the background, providing a check on our media diet without descending into paranoia or cynicism. Watch for stillness in the eyes. Watch for instant, all-at-once emotion. Look for overly clean, perfect edges, and listen for the missing breath. If an AI video successfully makes you feel a genuine emotion, doesn't matter that the origin is synthetic. You don't have to catch every fake. You already possess the most sophisticated pattern detector ever built. You just have to slow down long enough to listen to the alarms your brain is already sounding.